Welcome to the deep dive. I want to start off today by just giving a super warm, official welcome to you. Yes, you, listening right now.
Absolutely welcome.
It is incredibly great to have you with us. And look, we are making a deliberate choice today to leave all the political noise, all the daily grind, just totally at the door.
Oh, completely. We all need a break from that.
Right. This is a purely apolitical zone today. We're just going to sit back and experience the pure, unadulterated joy of discovering something truly fascinating together.
Which is exactly what this deep dive is all about.
Exactly. So I have this massive stack of sources sitting right here in front of me. I mean, we are talking everything from historical essays and tourism itineraries to contemporary art magazines and marine biology reports.
It's quite the mix.
It really is. And to kick this off, I want you to imagine a scenario with me. Imagine you are suddenly dropped onto a jagged, smoking piece of volcanic rock right in the middle of the tempestuous Atlantic Ocean.
Just completely stranded.
Right. You are about 1,500 kilometers away from the nearest continental coastline.
Yeah.
You check your pockets, and you have absolutely nothing. No tools, no imported supplies, literally no lifeline.
Not exactly an ideal vacation spot.
No, not at all. So the question is, what do? How do you build a life, a culture, an entire civilization out of raw fire and stone?
Well, it's the ultimate test of human ingenuity, isn't it?
It really is.
Today, we are looking at the Azores, which is a remote archipelago of 9 volcanic islands. And our mission today is to dive into these sources to really understand how extreme geographical isolation isn't just a barrier to survival, it's actually a crucible.
The crucible.
Yeah, because when you are that far removed from the mainland, you can't just import solutions to your problems. You can't just order something online. You have to invent solutions using exactly what the Earth and that turbulent ocean actually give you.
Right. And as I was going through these materials, what really struck me wasn't just that they managed to survive, but how they did it.
The methods are incredible.
They really are. I want to start from the ground up here because the Earth in the Azores isn't exactly a quiet, passive foundation. It is highly active.
To put it mildly, yeah.
Right. So I was looking at this picture in our sources of a local culinary tradition, and it's called Cozido das Furnas, or furnace stew. And the picture literally shows people burying a massive iron pot in the steaming dirt. What exactly is going on there?
So this is a phenomenal example of turning a geographic hazard into an everyday tool.
Okay.
At the Calderas das Furnas on São Miguel Island, the locals don't just live on top of the volcanic soil, they actively partner with it to cook their food.
Partner with a volcano.
Exactly. They take this massive cast iron pot and pack it strategically. They layer in half a chicken, a pork leg, pork chops, beef, bacon, chorizo, and blood sausage.
Wow, that is a lot of meat.
It's a really hearty stew.
Wow.
And then they top it with dense vegetables. So you've got cabbage, kale, taro roots, potatoes, and sweet potatoes.
Okay, sounds delicious, but then they just bury it.
Yeah, they seal it up tightly, wrap it in a heavy sack, and literally bury it in a geothermal hole in the ground.
But how do they even know how long to leave it in there? Is it just a guessing game, or is there an actual science to cooking your dinner inside an active volcano?
Well, it's generations of trial and error that have led to a highly precise science of slow cooking. The pot sits buried in that volcanic earth for about 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah, and the geothermal heat is incredibly consistent, radiating between roughly 90 and 100 degrees Celsius, which creates just the perfect slow cook environment.
Oh, so it's like a natural crock pot.
Exactly like that. But the real secret isn't just the heat, it's the chemistry. The heat is radiating through mineral-rich sulfurous soil.
Right.
And as the stew simmers slowly in its own juices, it absorbs the natural humidity and those distinct earthy flavors of the volcano itself. The collagen in the meats breaks down perfectly, and the root vegetables absorb all that rich broth.
That sounds incredible.
You really cannot replicate that mechanism in a Michelin-starred kitchen in Paris or New York.
And what blew my mind reading this is that you can go to a local spot there, like Tony's or the Terra Nostra Garden Restaurant, and this incredible volcano-cooked feast only costs you about 15 to 25 euros.
It's surprisingly affordable, yeah.
It's like accessible gourmet survivalism. But they didn't just use the heat of the earth. They had to deal with the actual rocks. And I have to stop you here because reading about the landscape of the Pico Island vineyard culture.
Yes, the vineyards.
Yeah, which is a 2004 UNESCO World Heritage Site, by the way. Reading about this drove me crazy.
How so?
Because the sources say the terrain is basically unforgiving black basalt, right? and the island is constantly battered by harsh Atlantic winds and salty sea spray.
It's a very brutal environment for agriculture.
Exactly. If the land is that violently hostile to fragile grapevines, why go through the agonizing effort? I mean, why not just import wine or grow something entirely different?
That is the logical question, for sure. But you have to remember who settled there. The viticulture on Pico Island dates back to the late 15th century. And it was introduced by Franciscan and Carmelite monks. So wine wasn't just some luxury beverage for them, it was essential for the Catholic Mass.
Oh, right, of course.
And on top of that, in an era before water purification, fermented drinks were often the safest way to stay hydrated on long oceanic voyages.
That makes sense.
So giving up just wasn't an option. They have to grow the Verdelho grape variety right there. To do it, they initiated a massive, grueling terraforming project,
Which resulted in thousands of stone walls.
Ah.
I mean, they took the very volcanic rock that made farming so difficult in the first place, and they built this massive, sprawling network of rectangular enclosures.
Yes, they're called carré.
Carré, right.
Yeah.
So the vines grow safely tucked inside these little stone fortresses. It's almost like they build, stone bubble wrap.
That is actually a great way to put it. Or another analogy would be stone thermal batteries.
Stone thermal batteries. Oh, because of the heat.
Exactly. The adaptation is brilliant on multiple levels here. Physically, yes. The black basalt blocks the punishing wind and acts as a physical shield against the salt spray.
Which would otherwise just dehydrate and kill the delicate leaves, right?
Absolutely. But mechanistically, black basalt is incredible at thermal mass storage. It absorbed the intense heat of the sun during the day, holding on to all that energy.
Oh, wow.
And then when the temperature drops sharply at night, those rocks radiate the stored heat back onto the vines.
That is genius.
It stabilizes the microclimate and allows the grapes to achieve the perfect sugar levels for fermentation. So the exact same hostile rock that makes the terrain unyielding is precisely what makes the world-renowned wine possible.
The irony is just fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
the earth fights you, so you use the earth to fight back.
That's the Azorean way.
But as I was reading further, it became pretty clear that they eventually hit a wall. Because those stone thermal batteries allow them to survive on the land, but an island is finite.
Yes, there's only so much space.
Right, eventually the population grows, resources stretch thin, and you have to, export your survival.
Precisely, you have to turn to the water. So we transition from the heat of the volcanic earth to the unpredictable depths of the Atlantic. And this reveals a much harsher and frankly far more terrifying struggle.
Yeah, reading this section was intense.
Because just as they wrestled their food from the rock, they had to wrestle their economic livelihood from the ocean.
And this brings us to the whaling history. In the 18th century, American whaling ships arrived in the area and realized the waters were absolutely teeming with sperm whales.
A huge migration route, yeah.
Right, and they taught the locals how to hunt them, specifically targeting them for a substance called spermaceti. Now, I know it was valuable, but why was the entire global economy so obsessed with this one specific liquid?
Well, spermaceti is a liquid wax found in massive quantities inside the head cavities of sperm whales. And in the 18th and 19th centuries, before petroleum took over, it was an absolute miracle material.
A miracle material, really?
Oh, yeah. Unlike animal tallows, which smelled terrible when burned and melted really easily, spermaceti burned incredibly brightly, produced almost no smoke, and remained stable across massive temperature variations.
Also, it was perfect for the time.